Okay, Algebra 1, Objective 13 for the second 9 weeks is dividing monomials. Our description is to reduce coefficients and cancel exponents. So if we look at example 1, 20x to the 9th, y to the 8th, and then 4x to the 3rd, y to the 2nd on bottom. So again, reducing the coefficients. Again, coefficients, I'm talking about my numbers in front of my variables. So if I reduce 20 over 4, 4 goes into 20 5 times, 4 goes into 4 1 time, so I have 5 over 1. Now when we start to cancel exponents, again, we're canceling the smaller amount of the variables. So if I have x to the 9 on top and x to the 3rd on bottom, x to the 3rd is the smaller one, so I can cancel out all 3 of them on the bottom here, but if I cancel out 3 on top, I'm left with 6 of them on top. So I'm left with x to the 6th on top, y to the 8th on top, and y to the 2nd on bottom. Again, the smaller one would be y to the 2nd. So I'd be left with y to the 6th on top. Now, if you end up with 1 on the bottom, and that's the only thing that's left on the bottom, anything divided by 1 is itself anyway. So we would write this as just 5x to the 6th, y to the 6th. The second example, 15x to the 10th, y to the 2nd, divided by 18x to the 4th, y to the 7th. So to reduce 15 over 18, find a number that goes into both of them, which would be 3. 3 goes into 15 5 times, 3 goes into 18 6 times. So far on my reduction here, I've got 5 over 6. And again, cancel out the smaller exponent. So x to the 10th on top and x to the 4th on bottom, so I can get rid of the x to the 4th, which means if I cancel out 4 of them on top, that gives me x to the 6th on top. Over here I got y to the 2nd on top and y to the 7th on bottom, so the smaller one would be y2. I can cancel out, if I cancel out 2 of them on bottom, that leaves me with y to the 5th, but all of them are left on bottom, so I have to put the y to the 5th on the bottom. Example 3, 12xy to the 3rd divided by 24x to the 4th, y to the 7th. So again, if I reduce 12 over 24, 12 goes into both of them. 12 goes into 12 one time and into 24 two times. So far, got 1 over 2. The x by itself, again, is like x to the 1st. So I got x to the 1st on top and 4th on bottom, so I would cancel out the x to the 1st. So if I cancel out 1 of them on bottom, that's going to leave me with 3 of them on bottom, so x to the 3rd. Then I have y to the 3rd on top and y to the 7th on bottom, so I can cancel out y to the 3rd. If I cancel out 3 of them on bottom, that gives me y to the 4th. And again, it's on bottom because I canceled them from the ones on the top. If you have 1 on top, and that's the only thing left over, you have to leave the 1. Get up here when 1 on the bottom, we could take it away because anything divided by 1 is itself. But if you end up with 1 on top, that has to stay there to keep it a fraction. Example 4 here, 22x to the 2nd, y to the 3rd divided by 14x to the 6th, y to the 2nd. So a number that goes into 22 and 14 would be 2. 2 goes into 22 11 times and into 14 7. So we have 11 over 7. If I cancel out the smaller exponent here of the x, I'd cancel out 2 of them, which would leave me with 4 on the bottom. And if I cancel out the smaller y, I'd cancel out 3 of the y's on top, which would leave me with 9 of them on bottom. So again, on these, reduce the fractions, the coefficients, and then cancel the smaller exponent.